If you're on an IRB, you know the drill, right? You're buried in these super dense protocols, trying to navigate a maze of federal regulations, and the clock is always ticking. But what if you had a new kind of assistant? So today, we're going to dive into how artificial intelligence can become a powerful, and I mean responsible ally in your work.
And just imagine for a second, this assistant isn't just, grabbing you coffee. It's helping you think. It's a partner that can help you spot inconsistencies in a protocol that's 200 pages long, or cross-reference a really tricky consent form with the latest regulations. That's the big idea we're unpacking here. AI as your thought partner.
Okay, so before we can even think about putting this thought partner to work, we have got to be crystal clear about what job we're hiring it for. We have to set the right focus. Look, when it comes to AI and IRBs, there are really two different worlds. Over on the right, you've got AI as the subject of the research. That's something your board would actually review. But that's not our focus today. We're zeroing in on the left side, using AI as a tool in your own office to help you get your job done better, faster, and maybe even a little more thoroughly.
So now that we're all on the same page, let's pop the hood on this thing. Let's open up the toolkit. Because like any powerful tool, you're going to get way better results when you actually understand its basic parts. We're going to cover 3 concepts you absolutely have to know to get started. First up, you've got the engine, the large language model, or LLM. And trust me, it's called large for a reason. This thing has been trained on a colossal amount of text data. I mean, think bigger than the Library of Congress. That's what lets it understand complex language, analyze protocols, and help you make sense of regulations.
Next up is the prompt. This is basically just the instruction you give the AI. And I'm telling you, learning to write a good prompt is probably the single most important skill you can develop here. It's like they say, garbage in, garbage out. The quality of the answer you get is 100% dependent on the quality of the question you ask.
And now for the big one, the most critical danger, hallucinations. This is when the AI confidently, and I mean convincingly, just makes stuff up. It might cite a regulation that sounds real but doesn't exist. It might completely misquote a real one. The takeaway here is absolutely non-negotiable. You must always verify its output. No exceptions. Okay, so we know what it is, and we know about the big gotcha with hallucinations. So where do we actually use this thing in our workflow? The key is to match the tool to the task based on the level of risk.
Let's think about this with a simple risk-based framework. For low-risk stuff, like spell-checking the meeting minutes or formatting a document, AI is a fantastic time saver. For medium-risk tasks, like getting a first look at a protocol to spot potential gaps, it's a really useful starting point, but your expert human review is absolutely essential. And then for the high-risk tasks, like making a final determination, the AI is only there to assist. The human expert is firmly and always in the driver's seat.
And this brings us right to the heart of it, the central philosophy for using this tech responsibly. You really shouldn't think of AI as some kind of automated decision maker. Instead, think of it as your thought partner. See, a thought partner doesn't just give you the final answer. Nope, it helps you see things from a different angle. It can help you spot blind spots in your own review, generate a few different options for mitigating risk. Basically, it's there to expand your thinking so your own final judgment is even stronger. And to make this partnership work, there are some really clear rules of the road. On the do side, you always let the human expert lead the review, and you always verify every single regulatory citation. On the don't side, and this one is critical, you never let the AI make the final call, and you never, ever input sensitive or personally identifiable information into a public AI tool.
So look, if you remember just one thing from all of this, let it be this. This is the single principle that should guide every single interaction you have with AI. AI assists, but humans decide. Following that one rule helps you avoid a very real danger called automation bias. That's just our natural tendency to over-rely on an automated system. I mean, imagine an AI flags a consent form as compliant, so you just kind of skim it. But you totally miss that the AI overlooked a really subtle problematic clause on data sharing. Bam, that's automation bias in action. So to fight it, you've got to review the protocol yourself first, always question what the AI gives you, and most importantly, trust your own professional judgment.
All right, so theory is great, but let's put this whole framework to the test. We're going to walk through a pretty common and tricky scenario that lands on IRB desks all the time, and we'll see how our little thought partner can help us out. So, meet Dr. Chen. She wants to use retrospective patient data to build a predictive AI model for stroke risk, but she says it's only going to be used in her hospital. She submits it to you and argues that since it's just for local quality improvement, well, it doesn't count as research and doesn't need an IRB review.
Now, this is where our AI thought partner can be invaluable. You could literally prompt it to lay out the arguments side by side. On the left, it could summarize Dr. Chen's argument for it being a QI project. But on the right, it can help you surface all the key indicators that this thing might actually be research. The methodology is testable, the findings could be generalized, and, oh yeah, the tool itself might even be considered an investigational device. And boom, right there is where the AI's power just becomes so clear. It can quickly scan that project description and flag that, hey, this isn't just a simple QI versus research question. It actually touches on at least two major and pretty complex federal regulatory frameworks, the Common Rule and the FDA's Rules for Investigational Devices. I mean, that's a huge assist.
So, the AI did its job. It acted as your thought partner. It surfaced potential issues, it cited relevant regulations, it organized the arguments, the analysis is done, all the facts are on the table. But the responsibility for that final decision, that still rests with you. The crucial question always comes back to the human expert. It always comes back to you.